Cassava is a tuber crop just like sweet potatoes and yams. It is robust and grows well in low altitude areas. However, its prominence over the years has been low. We met with an agricultural officer from Kisumu West Sub-County to shed more light on its production and nutritional values. Welcome.
I'm Alice Nyariaro, the Sub-County Home Economics Extension and Training Officer, Kisumu West. Cassava was introduced to us in 2012. We've been growing it since 2012 until this time. It was introduced by Self-Help Africa. Self-Help Africa is a non-profitable organization which has brought to us several benefits. This is the cassava seed we use. We get our cassava cuttings from KALRO. KALRO means Kenya Agricultural, Livestock and Research Organization. They are the ones who provide us with the seeds which our farmers bulk. Apart from that, we have KEFIs who come and inspect our seeds. So these days we do not have what used to be there earlier on, like the cassava mosaic. This is the cassava mosaic. This is the way, one of the symptoms, this is the way it looks like. But with our clean seed, then this one is not an issue anymore. We have several varieties which were introduced because we do not want to just rely on one variety. We have several clean varieties. We have Mijera, like where we are standing, these are Mijera. This is Mijera. Apart from Mijera, we have MH95/5286. That is one of the other varieties which we provided to our farmers. The third variety we introduced was MM96/0183. Those are the three varieties mainly in these particular areas. We grow cassava because we have a market. We've been linked to several markets, but the one which we are dealing with right now is called True Trades. True Trades are going to pick our cassava because they're going to use it to do several things. One thing they're going to use it for is to make starch and brewing. That is one of the main things we are going to do. But apart from that, our farmers also do value addition. They make several things out of cassava. We prepare like the cassava, chapati, mandazis, cakes and everything. We plant cassava at a spacing of 1 meter by 1 meter, which means from line to line is 1 meter, from row to row is 1 meter, from seed to seed is 1 meter. We encourage our farmers to plant it lying low instead of putting it slanting. We don't want our farmers to plant slanting because most of them plant it facing down, and that one makes it not to grow the way it was required to. We also encourage our farmers so that the weeding becomes easier. They plant several cover crops in between because the spacing of 1 meter by 1 meter is large. So in between they can plant things like beans, cowpea leaves, several low crops, so that weeding also, so that it helps them in also doing weeding. Cassava normally takes, for cassava to reach maturity, at least it must take from 6 months and above. But mostly we do it here at Nyahera, we normally do it from 8 months and above. That's when we are sure of the cyanide level, we are sure that the cyanide level has gone down. We know that all cassava has cyanide level, but with the maturity, when the maturity time is high, then the cyanide level also reduces. That's why we insist on the 8 months. This is a cassava which is ready and mature for value addition. So when you pick this cassava, when you remove your cassava, this is the way it looks like. But we have to talk of cyanide level before we even think of processing it, because so many people are afraid of the cyanide level. When you harvest cassava, you'll find that there is a part which is attached to the stem. This part which is attached to the stem has more cyanide level than this other part, this end. So cyanide level is here more than here. You'll find that long time ago, our grandparents used to chop that part out before they prepare our cassava. Another thing is that the cover of the cassava has more cyanide level than the inner parts. That one is also another issue. Harvesting also, when you harvest and you throw it down, you interfere with the cellular bundles. And when you interfere with the cellular bundles, the cyanide level is also increased. But all this, there's a way of dealing with it. When you wait for cassava to mature, the cyanide level goes low. When you process the cassava, the cyanide level also goes low. In cassava, we don't only consume the tubers. We can consume the leaves. The tender leaves are also consumed. The tender leaves are very rich in vitamin A. That's why we encourage our farmers to consume. But not very many farmers have taken in the consumption of cassava. After this, there are several ways which we process our cassava. After harvesting from the farm, there are several things we have to do to it. But when you cannot consume it within the day, within 24 hours that you've harvested it, then there are several things you have to do to it. One, you can take your cassava, wrap it in a polythene, make a hole somewhere, put them underground, pour some water to make that place moist, and then you can use it tomorrow or the next day. That one, it will be still in the fresh state. But there are also other ways there are also other things we can do to preserve it. Like, now we want to process the cassava so that we have a flour, which you can use to do other things. We can process it to make chips. We can also process it to make chunks. So those are some of the things you're going to show you how to make at this particular time.
After chipping and drying, this is what we have, which is later taken to the posho mill, and we obtain the flour. So after this process, Madam Alice, what follows?
After this process, we have several things we can make out of this. But what we normally do, we cannot make our products purely out of the cassava flour. We have to mix it with wheat flour, because the cassava flour does not have the glutination part of it. So what we do, we have to mix at a ratio of 1 to 2. 1 to 2, I mean 1 cup of cassava to 2 cups of wheat flour, so that the glutination part of it to be there.
cassava is not only limited to boiling, roasting, and making flour. For cassava value addition process, we have variety of end products which can be sold in different markets to generate income and also create job opportunities for the youths in our country. For cassava, prominence have been increased by the